Good morning, Chris. I wanted to take some time to discuss the recent project updates you provided. Can you walk me through the current status and any challenges the team might be facing?
Good morning, Mrs. Anderson. Certainly, let me give you an overview. We have made progress in the development phase, and the team has been actively working on coding the new features.
That is good to hear. To ensure mutual understanding, could you please clarify that we have made progress in the development phase? Which new features have been successfully coded so far?
Absolutely. The team has completed coding for the user authentication module and the basic framework for the new dashboard. These were the initial priorities, and we are now moving on to the more complex features.
I see. Regarding the user authentication module, can you clarify the more complex features and have we encountered any issues during testing?
The user authentication module is operational, but we did identify a few minor issues during testing, mainly related to password reset functionality. The team is currently addressing those, and we expect to have them resolved by the end of the week.
Thank you for letting me know. It is crucial to ensure a smooth user experience. Moving on, you mentioned progressing to more complex features. Can you provide examples of these complex features and any potential roadblocks the team foresees?
Certainly, Mrs. Anderson. The more complex features include integration with external APIs and implementing real-time data updates on the dashboard. The team anticipates challenges related to API compatibility and ensuring seamless real-time updates across different devices.
I got it. If I may seek clarification, when you say seamless real-time updates, are we talking about minimizing latency? Or are there specific performance benchmarks we are aiming for?
Exactly. Minimizing latency is a key goal. We are aiming for real-time updates with a latency of less than 1 second. We have conducted some initial performance tests, and so far, we are within the acceptable range, but we will continue to fine-tune to meet the 1-second target.
That is a critical aspect, especially for user experience. I appreciate the clarification. Now, let's touch on the timeline. You provided an estimated completion date, but I would like to understand if there's any flexibility in that schedule and what factors might influence it.
The current completion date is based on the team's initial estimates, but we have built in some buffer time to account for unforeseen issues. If we encounter any major roadblocks, we will reassess and communicate any adjustments to the timeline promptly.
It is good to know there is a buffer. On the topic of unforeseen issues, how is the team prepared to handle unexpected challenges that might arise during the next phases of development?
We have a contingency plan in place, Mrs. Anderson. It includes regular communication channels within the team to quickly address and resolve issues, as well as leveraging external support if necessary. We are also conducting weekly risk assessments to identify potential challenges proactively.
That is a solid approach. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about resource allocation. Are there any resource constraints or dependencies that could impact the project's progress?
Currently, we have the necessary resources in place, but we have identified a dependency on an external vendor for one of the APIs. We are in regular communication with them to ensure timely delivery, but we are monitoring it closely.
Understood. It is always wise to keep an eye on external dependencies. Lastly, Chris, if there is anything that you believe I should be aware of or any concerns you have, please do not hesitate to share them.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. I believe we have covered the main points. However, if anything comes up or if you have additional questions, feel free to reach out. Open communication is key to addressing any challenges that may arise.
I appreciate your proactive approach, Chris. It sounds like the team is making good progress, and I'm confident that we can overcome any challenges that come our way. Keep up the excellent work and let's stay in close communication as the project unfolds.
Will do, Mrs. Anderson. Thank you for your time and support. If there is anything else you'll need, I am here to help.
Absolutely, Chris. Before we wrap up, I would like to touch on the communication aspect. How are we ensuring clear and effective communication within the team, especially considering the complexity of the project?
Good point, Mrs. Anderson. We have established regular team meetings twice a week to discuss progress and roadblocks, and to address any questions or concerns. Additionally, we are utilizing project management tools to keep everyone on the same page regarding tasks and deadlines.
That is also a solid approach regarding team meetings. Are they proving to be effective in addressing issues and fostering collaboration, or do we need to make any adjustments?
The team meetings have been productive, but we have noticed that some team members feel more comfortable raising concerns privately. To address this, we have implemented a feedback channel where team members can submit concerns anonymously, encouraging open communication.
I appreciate the initiative to create a more inclusive communication environment. It is essential to ensure that everyone feels comfortable expressing their thoughts. Now, shifting gears again, let's discuss the testing phase. You mentioned testing for the user authentication module. Can you provide more details on the testing strategy and any specific test cases being prioritized?
Certainly, Mrs. Anderson. We are employing a comprehensive testing strategy that includes unit testing, integration testing, and user acceptance testing. For the user authentication module, we are prioritizing test cases related to user registration, login, and password management to ensure a secure and reliable system.
Security is paramount, so I'm glad to hear that those aspects are being thoroughly tested. Speaking of security, are there any specific security measures in place for the integration with external APIs, especially considering the sensitivity of the data involved?
Absolutely. We are working closely with our cybersecurity team to conduct regular security audits, and we have implemented encryption protocols for data transmitted between our system and the external piece. Additionally, we are continuously monitoring for any potential vulnerabilities.
Good to know that security is a top priority. Finally, let's touch on documentation. How are we ensuring that all aspects of the project, from coding to testing, are adequately documented for future reference and potential handovers?
We have implemented a robust documentation process, Mr. Anderson. Each development task is accompanied by detailed documentation outlining the code logic, dependencies, and potential troubleshooting steps. Additionally, we are maintaining a comprehensive project wiki that covers the overall architecture and design decisions.
Excellent! Documentation is often overlooked, but plays a crucial role in the long-term success and maintainability of a project. Chris, I appreciate the thorough update. It is evident that you and the team are approaching this project with diligence and foresight. Keep up the good work. And if there are any major updates or challenges, don't hesitate to reach out before our next scheduled meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. I will certainly keep you updated, and if anything comes up, I will reach out promptly. Your feedback is valuable, and we will continue working hard to meet the project goals.
Good to hear, Chris. Let's continue this proactive communication. I am confident in the team's abilities, and I look forward to our next update. Have a productive day.
You too, Miss Anderson. If you need anything in the meantime, feel free to contact me. Have a great day.
Good morning, Professor Martin. I would like to discuss my presentation on various digital learning media last week. Is it the right time, Professor?
Good morning, Sarah. I appreciated your presentation on various digital learning media last week. I wanted to dive deeper into some aspects to ensure I have a comprehensive understanding. Could you elaborate on the different kinds of digital learning media you discussed?
Certainly, in my presentation, I categorized digital learning media into three main types: synchronous, asynchronous, and blended.
Ah, I recall those categories. Let's start with synchronous learning. When you mentioned it, were you referring to real-time interactions, such as live webinars or virtual classrooms?
Exactly, Professor. Synchronous learning involves real-time interactions between instructors and students. This can include 5 lectures, video conferences, or even chat sessions where students can engage with each other and the instructor simultaneously.
Thank you for clarifying. Now, for asynchronous learning, I remember you mentioned it involves self-paced activities. Could you provide examples or clarify how students engage with content in an asynchronous setting?
Certainly. Asynchronous learning allows students to access course materials and complete activities at their own pace. Examples include pre-recorded lectures, discussion forums where students participate when convenient, and self-guided quizzes. It provides flexibility for students who may have different schedules.
Got it. So, asynchronous learning is more flexible in terms of when students can access and engage with the learning materials. Now, moving on to blended learning. Can you remind me of the key characteristics of blended learning and how it combines both synchronous and asynchronous elements?
Absolutely, Professor. Blended learning, as the name suggests, combines elements of both synchronous and asynchronous learning. It often involves a mix of face-to-face sessions and online activities. For example, a course might have in-person lectures supplemented with online discussions or pre-recorded video content.
Thanks for clarifying that. It sounds like blended learning provides a balance between real-time interactions and self-paced activities. Now, I'm curious about the advantages and disadvantages you discussed for each type. Could you briefly go over those points again?
Certainly, for synchronous learning, advantages include immediate feedback and a sense of community. However, challenges may arise regarding scheduling conflicts and time zone differences. Asynchronous learning offers flexibility but can lack real-time interactions. Blended learning aims to capitalize on the strengths of both while addressing their respective drawbacks.
I appreciate the recap. It is essential to consider the pros and cons of each approach. Now, regarding the technologies you mentioned supporting digital learning, learning management systems, LMS, video conferencing tools, etc., could you provide more details about how these technologies enhance the learning experience?
Absolutely, Professor. Learning management systems like Canvas or Moodle facilitate content delivery, student management, and assessment management. Video conferencing tools such as Zoom or Microsoft Teams enable real-time interactions. These technologies collectively create a dynamic and interactive digital learning environment.
Great overview. I understand the role of these technologies better now. Moving forward, how do educators typically choose between these digital learning approaches, and are there factors that influence their decision?
Educators often consider factors such as the nature of the content, the learning objectives, and the characteristics of the students. For instance, a highly interactive subject may benefit from synchronous sessions, while a self-paced course might lean towards asynchronous methods. Blended learning offers a middle ground, catering to different learning styles.
That makes sense. Customizing the approach based on the specific needs of the content and students is crucial. Finally, Sarah, In your research, did you come across any emerging trends or innovations in digital learning that are worth mentioning?
Yes, Professor. One notable trend is the increased use of immersive technologies like virtual reality or VR and augmented reality or AR to create more engaging learning experiences. These technologies provide a more interactive and realistic environment for learners.
Fascinating. The integration of VR in Arkansas could indeed revolutionize the digital learning landscape. Thank you for sharing your insights, Sarah. I appreciate the clarity you provided on various aspects of digital learning. If you come across any further developments, feel free to keep me updated.
Thank you, Professor Martin. I'm glad I could clarify things for you. If you have any more questions or if there is anything else you would like to discuss, please let me know.
Before we conclude, Sarah, I am curious about the feedback you have received from students or educators who have experienced these different digital learning approaches. Did your research touch on any best practices or insights from their perspectives?
Absolutely, Professor. In terms of feedback, students appreciate the flexibility of asynchronous learning, especially those with varying schedules. However, some also express a desire for more opportunities for real-time interaction. Educators, on the other hand, highlight the importance of clear communication and well-structured online materials to ensure effective learning outcomes.
Thank you for sharing those insights. It is valuable to consider both student and educator perspectives for a holistic understanding. Now, as we wrap up, is there anything specific you would like to explore further or any challenges you foresee in the implementation of these digital learning strategies?
One area that might present a challenge is ensuring equitable access to technology, especially for students in underserved areas. Additionally, maintaining a sense of community in an online environment is something educators are actively working on, and it's an ongoing challenge to address.
Those are valid points. Ensuring equitable access and fostering a sense of community are critical aspects of effective digital learning. I appreciate your thorough research on these topics, Sarah. If you come across any new developments, or if you have further insights, feel free to share them. I'm always interested in staying updated on advancements in digital education.
Thank you, Professor. I will certainly keep you informed. And if there is anything else you would like to discuss or explore in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out.
I appreciate that, Sarah. Your dedication to this research is evident, and I am confident you will continue to contribute valuable insights to the field. Keep up the excellent work, and I look forward to our future discussions. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Professor Martin. I appreciate your guidance and support. Have a great day too. Good morning, Mr. Ridwan. I appreciate you taking the time to go over the computer hardware options your company offers. I want to make sure I have a clear understanding of the kinds of hardware available. Could you provide more details on the different options?
Good morning, Mrs. Thompson. Certainly, I would be happy to clarify. We offer a range of computer hardware, including desktops, laptops, servers, and peripherals. Let's break it down further.
Starting with desktops, are there specific models or configurations you recommend, and what features do they generally come with?
Absolutely. Our desktops come in various models tailored to different needs. We have standard business desktops suitable for everyday tasks, high-performance workstations for graphics-intensive work, and compact models for space efficiency. They typically include the latest processors, ample RAM, and various storage options. Do you have specific requirements in mind?
Noted, I will need to assess the team's needs further, but that gives me a good starting point. Now, moving on to laptops. Are there particular features or models that stand out, and how do they compare to the desktop options?
Laptops in our lineup are designed for portability without compromising performance. We have ultrabooks for executives on the go, gaming laptops for those needing high graphics capabilities, and standard business laptops with a balance of performance and portability. Generally, they share similar features with desktops, but with the added benefit of mobility. Are there specific tasks your team needs laptops for?
That makes sense. Portability is crucial for our sales team. Now let's talk about servers. What kinds of servers does your company offer? And are there specific considerations we should keep in mind when choosing one?
Our server options cater to different business needs. We have entry-level servers for small businesses, mid-range servers for growing enterprises, and enterprise-level servers for large-scale operations. Considerations include storage capacity, processing power, and scalability based on your anticipated growth. Do you have an estimate of your data storage and processing requirements?
Not yet, but we'll work on gathering that information. Now, peripherals. What kind of accessories or additional hardware options do you provide?
Peripherals cover a range of accessories. We offer monitors of various sizes and resolutions, keyboards, mice, printers, and networking equipment. The key is to match the peripherals with the specific needs and tasks of your team. Are there any particular peripherals your team requires?
I will need to consult with each department to gather their specific requirements for peripherals. Now, when it comes to the overall hardware package, are there any bundled options or customizable packages available? And how does pricing work?
We provide both pre-configured packages for simplicity and customizable options for clients who have specific preferences. Pricing depends on the hardware configurations, additional software, and warranty packages you choose. We can work with you to tailor a package that fits your budget and requirements. Is there a budget range you have in mind?
I will need to discuss budget constraints with our finance department, but having the flexibility for customization is good to know. Lastly, Mr. Ridwan, do you offer any maintenance or support services for the hardware?
Certainly. We offer various maintenance and support packages, including extended warranties, on-site assistance, and remote troubleshooting. The level of support can be customized based on your team's needs and the criticality of the hardware. Have you considered what level of support would be ideal for your organization?
I will need to discuss this internally to determine the level of support required, Mr. Ridwan. I appreciate your detailed explanation. It has provided a clear overview of the hardware options available. If there are any additional considerations, or if I have further questions during our decision-making process, may I reach out to you?
Absolutely, Mrs. Thompson. Feel free to reach out anytime. I am here to assist you throughout the decision-making process. If there's anything specific you need or if further clarification is required, don't hesitate to contact me.
Thank you, Mr. Ridwan. I will discuss this information with my team, and we may follow up with additional questions as we move forward. I appreciate your time and assistance. Good morning again, Mr. Ridwan. I have had a chance to discuss the hardware options with my team, and we have a few more questions and considerations. First off, in terms of customization for the hardware packages, how flexible can we be with the configurations?
Good morning, Mrs. Thompson. I am glad to hear that you have had a chance to discuss it with your team. Regarding customization, we are quite flexible. You can choose different processors, RAM sizes, storage capacities, and additional features based on your team's specific needs. We can work together to create a tailored solution that aligns with your requirements. What specific configurations are you considering?
That is great to know. We are looking for a balance between performance and cost effectiveness. So, having that flexibility is crucial. Next, regarding the servers, are there options for virtualization? And how does that impact performance and scalability?
Absolutely. Mrs. Thompson. Our servers are virtualization ready, which means you can run multiple virtual machines on a single physical server. This not only optimizes resources, but also enhances scalability and flexibility. If you anticipate significant growth or have fluctuating workloads, virtualization can be a valuable solution. Have you considered the potential scalability needs of your business?
Virtualization does sound like a beneficial option for us, especially considering our growth projections. I will need to further discuss this with our IT team to ensure it aligns with our overall technology strategy. Now, in terms of warranties and support, can you provide more details on the different warranty packages and the level of support they include? We are leaning towards a comprehensive support package, including on-site assistance. Our team is not overly technical, so having that extra level of support would be reassuring. Now, on a different note, do you offer any environmentally friendly or energy efficient hardware options?
Yes, Mrs. Thompson. We do have hardware options that are Energy Star certified and designed with energy efficiency in mind. These options not only contribute to environmental sustainability, but can also lead to cost savings on energy bills. Is environmental sustainability a priority for your organization?
Absolutely. We are committed to reducing our environmental impact where possible. So, having energy efficient options aligns with our values. Finally, Mr. Ridwan, in terms of delivery and installation, how does that process typically work and what is the expected timeline?
Delivery and installation are part of our service. Once you finalize your hardware configuration, we'll work on processing the order. The timeline depends on the complexity of the configuration and our current inventory. Generally, we aim to deliver and install within 2 to 4 weeks from the order confirmation. If you have any specific timeline requirements, we can discuss them further. Does that fit within your project schedule?
That timeline works for us. We will coordinate internally to ensure a smooth transition, Mr. Ridwan. I appreciate your patience in addressing our questions. This information is incredibly helpful as we finalize our decision. If there are any additional details or considerations you think we should be aware of, please feel free to share.
I am glad to hear that the information has been helpful, Mrs. Thompson. As you move forward, if any more questions arise or if you need further assistance, do not hesitate to reach out. I am here to support you through the decision-making process. Thank you for considering our hardware solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Ridwan. We will continue our internal discussions and may be in touch with additional questions. I appreciate your time and assistance. Have a great day.
You too, Mrs. Thompson. Feel free to reach out whenever you need. Have a wonderful day.